Hey guys, well, I bet you're thinking this looks a little different. Well, it's been a while since I did an update video, and I have to apologize, but the main reason for that has just been I've had to be on the go to try to get this car done. I've only got about two and a half weeks until the Derby, so at this point I really needed just to keep working and start plugging away and getting it done. Now, if you guys want to see what it looked like in the inner room, in between the last update and this one, I've posted a number of photos on Facebook, and I've got some more to post pre-paint, so you can see all the ball painting and everything that happened, and what it looked like. Some of you guys really like to know what it looked like before paint, so I'll make sure to have that. So be sure to check out the Facebook page that we have. If you go to Facebook, just search Demo Derby Videos. The link's going to be in the title, or actually, the description of this video. So click on that, and you can check out all the pictures so you can see what happened since the last video. So we'll give you a walk around. Got the bumper from the Thunderbird, just temporarily bolted at the moment. It'll be finalized bolted here, hopefully after this video's done. I'm also going to trim the ends of the bumpers. You can see it's got those extra tail pieces that jet out. On the Thunderbird, that was just where the fenders stuck out, so it wasn't an issue, but this car is a little bit more narrow than the other ones I've ran. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this bumper and I'm just going to trim the ends off with a little bit of an angle, just to kind of try to divert cars away, and also try to keep this edge from getting too sharp, because obviously I want to not get caught up on other people. So right now I'd really get it caught on all kinds of things if I didn't trim it. So gonna get that trimmed. Got the hood smashed down here, and got the all thread. So you can also see the engine's in it. So we got the engine in it. It's not running just at the moment. I'm still in the process of hooking it all up. Because I live here in Fort Wayne now, I don't have all the tools I need, so that's why it's painted, and some other things have been done kind of ahead of getting it to run and move, and it's mainly because we're on time constraints, so we do what we need to do when we have time to do it. So that's in there. I got some pictures, and there's probably going to be a video of some of it at some point in the off season once I'm done. I'll come back to the engine and we'll show you. Fenders here, got them all ball peened and creased. Pretty nice sharp crease there. It is very solid here in the front end now. Got some bolts here in the fenders. We're allowed to bolt the inner and outer webbing together, so I'd make sure to do that. Again, tires. The doors have all been welded. I think that was on the last video. Got the cage in here. It's about, I think about 85% welded in at this point. All the plates are tacked in, so I just got to finish welding the plates in. But the bars themselves are all welded and solid. So it ought to be really good and solid. And the inside here too, trying to think of what else we've done. I've also built this little mounting plate. I've got my oil pressure gauge there hanging off, and I've got my TAC RPM gauge there, so that way I can figure out what the RPMs are as I'm running. So it hopefully will work out well. I just struggled when I had the Mercury of being able to see those two gauges, so wanted to make sure I mounted them a lot higher this time, and hopefully it'll make it a lot easier to see. So we'll keep walking around. Nothing fancy on the sides. Got the fenders all cleared out. As from my last video, I told you where I was going to cut and fold, so we did that. We cut and folded it, and then I've got bolts here. We're allowed to fold the fenders and then bolt them in 4 different locations on the back. I've only got 3 locations bolted at the moment. So I've got a couple bolts here, and then one on this other chunk that's here. Just got that tacked on for looks. A lot of creasing done here in the back. So hopefully this will hold up well, and once again, hopefully my creasing job was okay. This side didn't turn out quite as well, mainly because of the subframe that was in the inside of the car, as it was. Just made it a lot more difficult to form into what I wanted. So with the little bigger hammer, I was able to get the shape I wanted, but it didn't quite turn out as well as I want. So I'll just show you the other side. And again, with the straps here, I'll just show you on this side because it's easier. Alright, so for the tailgate to weld it solid, which we're allowed to do, we're allowed to use strapping 3 inches wide and up to 60 inches on the trunk or tailgate. So basically what I did was I cut a bunch of 8-inch chunks of 3-inch wide strapping, and I'm allowed to go from the tailgate to the adjacent side panel, either cowl or fender. So what I did was, because I didn't want to weld to this inner basically this inner panel that the tailgate would, all the hardware for the tailgate bolts against. You can see this one bracket right here. I didn't want to use that as the main skin to weld to, just because of strength. I didn't think it would be the best idea. So what I did was I hit it with a hammer and kind of drove it in, and then I took the strapping and I put that across from the tailgate skin to the fender skin. So I'm still following the rules. It's just a different way of looking at it. I don't have any welds in between, so I'm just going from one metal to the adjacent metal. With this, not strengthening it in any fashion, other than I just pounded it out of the way in order to make room for the strapping to go from the fender to the tailgate. So it's completely to the rules, and I've seen some of the other guys do that in the past. So we decided to do that. The ball peening on this side was much better. Got it all creased, really nice and sharp, similar to how I did the Mercury. And got the nice tight ridges. And then these cars have really strong roofs. You know, a lot of guys say that, well, they go down right away. Well, a lot of the ones I've seen have stayed up if you make the roof strong. So what I've decided to do is I ball peen this entire rail right here. So we're going to see if that makes any bit of difference. I've never seen anyone do this before. Now everyone's got their own flavor. Everyone's kind of got their own opinion on what works. So since I haven't seen this before, I'm going to give it a try. And then real quick, you guys will watch the video and see whether or not it actually worked and paid off, or it was a complete waste of my time. So we'll find out what happens. But this is nice and solid now, and I'll try to get a better angle so you can see how much I've actually ball peened that in. It used to stick out. It'd bubble out. If any of you guys are familiar with these Roadmaster station wagons, it bubbles way out. So I took that and drove it all the way in and creased it all the way along that surface. So it looks good and strong, got a nice sharp crease all the way down, and you know, we'll just see if it works. I'm always willing to try new things, and if I don't see someone else do it online, then darn it, I'm going to be posting videos about some other technique or idea that you can do. So we're going to give this a try. If it holds up well, then you should try it. If it doesn't, then don't try it. You know, it's quite as simple as that. So I do it, and for free I post videos, and you guys find out real quick if it would work for you or if it was a complete waste of my time. So we'll give this a shot and see how well she holds up. I have all threads sticking through back here. I've got the rear shocks out. I'm going to be welding these into place and then setting the rear ride height. Because these GM wagons are known to bend down, I want to get the best angle that I can in order to force it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the ride height from the side. Either it's going to be level from front to back or slightly higher in the back. And that's just something that I'm going to try. You know, everyone's got, again, you guys all have your own techniques, and I'm going to have a bunch of comments on here, I'm sure, with your guys' advice. But I'm going to try this because we've done it in the past with a few of our Crown Vics. Everyone likes to dip them way down. Well, we've had them sitting up in the air, and they actually bend upwards faster. It's just a matter of getting the right hits, I suppose. But I'm going to have the back end up higher than in the front, and we're hoping that it should bend up a little faster than usual, and once it starts going up, I'm in business and just keep hammering away. So that's what we're thinking. Got the battery box in here. I got some of the wiring, well, I guess I should say I have all the wiring done underneath the hood. It is completely 100% hooked up to the engine. The rest of the wiring that I need to finish up is I need to mount the starter solenoid and the ignition box there. I gotta get that all bolted and grounded to the firewall. And then I've got my ignition panel here with my switches. I've got a couple new switches to put in still, but these are my switches. I got the electric fan, the starter, and then of course the coil and distributor button down there. So, and then I have lights tied to everything, so that way I know what's on and what's working. So I got that. Let's see. Oh, actually I took a couple tools with me. Alright, well there we go. We got the fenders again, and the bumper. Oh right, I was gonna pull the hood up here, so give that a good yank. Okay, I still got the shock, so it goes up. So there it is. There's the motor in place. Still got to take the. I'm gonna take the power steering pump out, and mainly because GM to Ford do not match very well at all. And you know, I have other things I'd rather waste my time doing, so I'm gonna put a shorter belt on it and maybe gain a few more horsepower points, and that's about it. Got the all thread going through the core support down to the frame as allowed, and a couple bolts going through the front. So there you guys go. Got the engine in, got the painted and a lot of the body work done, and we're gonna keep going from there. So be sure to check out our Facebook page for all the in-process pictures, and until the next video, we'll talk to you later, guys.